Presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hey guys. I hope you get the whole thing finished. So the things today forever. This is Elisa of Atlantis. Mama Elisa, don't ever call me doctor because that's not my most important role. So today we have our lovely Erik. I love you, baby. Master Angel Erik. And he will be talking about, I'll tell you who's with us also, grief, stress, and anxiety. What? Grief, stress, and who has that? Stress, anxiety, huh? Okay. We all do. All right. And we're facing, so many changes in the world that have evoked some of this stuff, in our personal life and also just as a collective. So Erik's going to share his wisdom. I remember I had you in homeschool, dude. I was the one teaching you. And you and Sean Dodge, who I also homeschooled, you guys would cut up and make my life miserable, but it's okay. I love you. He was a prankster then even. So he's going to share this through these wonderful channels, the one, the only, the both and only, I should say. Psychic Medium Jennifer Doran at psychicmediumjenniferdoran.com, and I will put that in the description box. And me, Elisa of Atlantis Scalar, and Psychic Medium Michelle Gray at thehealingh.art.com. So, and also I'm with the Channeling Erik too, in case y'all don't know. And a lot of you guys don't know, Erik is my son that passed away, 2009, and we have been on an incredible journey with him since that period of time. We hit the ground running, and he's transformed so many lives. So, without any further ado, I would like to say, hello, Erik, I love you.
He says, hello, Mom, I love you.
Oh, that's Jennifer talking. All right, guys, so who wants to take Erik on? Erik, you decide. Who do you want to talk first?
Michelle, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I didn't want to jump in all over.
Yeah, you don't want the quickest.
He says, love you, Mom. He's saying hi to everybody. He brought this topic forward tonight because he said, obviously stress, anxiety, grief, that's something that we all go through at one point or another, some of us more than others. But what he really said, too, is he said, like the obvious stressors of what's happening in the world right now is that, even personally, if we're dealing with loss of a loved one, we could be dealing with loss of work, finances, those types of stress. But he really said, let's not forget also about the grief that we're experiencing as a collective and experiencing as individuals, because he says, we've really lost a way of living. We've lost a way that we've related with people. So many little things that have added up that have changed from, he says, the people that we met, where we met them, family members, grandparents, gatherings, celebrations, things that we would have done. He's like, an old way has changed. And he says, even though change brings a promise of new, he says it isn't without hurdles. So he just wants to bring it forward as, recognize that whatever it is that's going on in your life right now, he says we're all going through some really big changes, and grief is something that we're experiencing as a whole is too, and it's a real thing.
That's true. That is so true. So Jennifer, what you picking up?
So what Erik was saying to me is that basically grief is a part of life. And this is the first time really where grief is felt on a global level. So everybody right now is experiencing some sort of grief. And while things may seem divided, throughout the world and just in general with everything that's going on, past, present, this is the first time where really everybody can kind of relate on some level, and that's huge. Globally, that's huge, and for raising the vibration of the planet, even though it doesn't feel like it right now. It's not obvious right now, but it's the collective consciousness is the first time where everybody, if you're aware of it, can be like, okay, we're kind of all on the same page.
That's true. So that's a connecting thing for the collective, right, Erik? I mean, we are one.
Yes.
The tricky thing is, yes, you can intellectually know, I've heard we're all one, we're all God, holographic, one and part and whole of God, blah, 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 blah. But to really feel that on a deep soul level and to actually live that way, live as though we are part of the collective is very difficult. It's a huge jump to take between the, I get it, and, oh, wow, I freaking get it.
Well, because he says on some level we're all experiencing loss right now. On some level, everybody's experiencing loss.
Yep, exactly. I get a game tomorrow. My 5th grandbaby, a daughter, is going to be born at 7 o'clock in the morning. Already starting out to be a troublemaker. Uh-oh. So that's number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5.
Let's see, you got an Aries coming in.
No, it's Aquarius.
Aquarius. That's what I meant. Air. Aquarius. Yes.
Okay.
I mix those two up all the time. I guess I get confused that they both start with A. I don't know.
I know, but it should be interesting. So, what do you suggest? Give us something practical, Erik, to soothe our frayed nerves and our sadness.
Well, he's saying.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Michelle. Sorry.
Okay. No, he's just saying that like identify what it is that you're having challenges. Like identify what you're feeling, and because identifying it first of all allows you to start to reach for the types of supports that you need. And he said, like there are things that you can do from. Looking for a supportive. Do you have a team of people around you, whether they're family or they're friends? A support line, people that you can talk to. But he also says the real big thing, he says stop, pause, reflect, and he says prayer. Don't forget about prayer. He says prayer has a lot of power to it. And he says that's something that we're all connecting with around the world right now. So really reach into those resources within us. And he says be resourceful with yourself.
Yeah, because thought is, creates, it's physics, right? Physics 101. Thought creates reality. Well, prayer is thought. And I will say it's very, very good that you brought up feeling and really tapping into your feelings first, because, Erik, you've always taught us that we are emotional beings. And typically we get it out of order and we think of thought first. And then that evokes an emotion. And that emotion drives our choices, which is not good. Sometimes emotions should not drive choices. But it's better to feel first. How do I feel? And then let that produce a thought or a series of thoughts. And let those thoughts, guided by those feelings, help you make the correct decisions. Right, Jennifer?
Oh, absolutely. So what I was picking up as well, I live in Florida. And so anybody who knows what's going on in Florida, we're completely open. I can go and do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. So I come from a different perspective, because if I want to do something, I can go out and do it. I can go to a restaurant, I can go to a bar, I can go to a club, I can go to a bar and sit right next to somebody else.
Wait, can you wear a mask?
Not if you're sitting down. Apparently COVID doesn't transfer if you're sitting down.
Yes, Texas, we whip out that mask the minute we sit down and get our menus.
Yes, it's so funny. I was just joking. Obviously, it transfers if you're sitting down. But Florida's open, so if I want to do something, I can. But a lot of places can't. And so serotonin and dopamine levels are very low, Erik says. So for people who really, truly are quarantined and in their homes, you have to find something new. Cook a new meal. Watch a new show that you don't ordinarily watch. Read a book outside the genre you usually read, just so that you can get a tiny bit more dopamine and serotonin in. something different. As limited as you might be, there is different things that you can do.
Right, and get some sunlight. Sunlight on, I can't remember if it's the back of the legs or the shins, first thing in the morning. But anyway, that sort of resets things. But you need sun because you need that vitamin D, and because low vitamin D levels can exacerbate depression.
Mm-hmm, so, absolutely. And of course, I know you're in Texas, so you and I are in a little bit warmer climates. I have a lot of clients in the Northeast and Canada who, there's not sun. They won't see the sun consistently until like April.
Well,
pretty cold and dreary here. Yeah,
it's a little bit of sun. It's okay.
Yeah.
But that's what he's saying too, Jennifer. He's saying like to treat yourself, create new habits. Like mix things up, and you're absolutely right. It's a definitely different air here, with a little more gloomy, and we're all on lockdown, on house lockdown right now. So it's definitely a different situation here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the lockdown is a good thing or a bad thing, Erik? I mean, science seems to show that with the lockdowns, it makes absolutely no difference compared to without them.
Yeah.
But we have very, very infectious strain right now, so I just don't know.
Yeah, I actually don't feel like I'm good to answer this question. I know too much of the science, so I'm going to bow out of this one.
I agree. That's a medical question. I really don't want to get into that. It's too much liability.
He's actually saying it depends on the area.
Depends
on the area what's going on. That it's not really we can't really say that yes or no based on the whole world, but depending on the area and where what's traveling at that time. But he says for the long term, no.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, there needs to in order to Elisa, in order to get herd immunity, there needs to be exposure. So
yeah. The problem is with lockdowns. Of course, it's all different with this new highly infectious strain. So you take this with a grain of salt. What I'm saying here now, but as a physician, when you get people together, they all catch COVID, they're all getting in, and then one person goes out and goes to the post office, poof. I mean, so it tends to, you get these super spreaders created during lockdowns in these families. So to me, I feel like what we should have done from the very beginning is, of course, close the borders until, and, quarantine the elderly and the vulnerable, and let everybody else get it. I mean, well, of course, there have been young people who have died from it, okay? But it's called LDN. These kids that get this huge inflammatory response, the complement cascade, blah, blah, blah. There's a treatment for that. But, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm even boring myself. I'm boring myself. That is fine. All right. So I always believe the thing that helps me most, and this is how I operated after Erik's death. Of course, it was just awful. I was in a deep, deep hole for so long. I tried to take my life. I almost succeeded. Because he was my twin. He is my twin flame. So it was so hard, man. It was just so hard. But the way I pulled out of it is by helping others. That's the way I heal. And that's why the blog started and all that stuff. And, so to be of service is really a good way to raise the vibration for some of you guys, especially you light workers out there, which is interesting because a lot of you light workers are empaths. So you're much more heavily impacted by all of this, right? And so
he shared that. He shared that, Elisa. He shared that about you. And he showed me that about how you felt when he passed. And he said, looking for how you can make a difference, helping others makes a huge change in how you feel. It really does help.
Exactly. Even if you are to call distant relatives and just have a chat with them. Hey, how you doing? Connect. Raise their vibration, right? So, if you're in lockdown, there are still ways you got the telephone, and and you can call. You can send emails. You can actually send real letters. That's with some love notes. I mean, actually, that can be extremely powerful. when I was homeschooling my kids, I had them write letters of gratitude anonymously to whoever they felt were their heroes, and sometimes it was a teacher or a fireman or whatever. And that could be very powerful too. Donating stuff to the disabled veterans, or giving to Tunnels for Towers, which I do, and I really give to a lot of the veteran stuff, and so that helps also. Zoom, Facebook Live, face-to-face connections also help too. But hey, why am I talking? I'm not the master angel here. Sorry, I stepped on your mic, dude. Go ahead, take over.
No, what you were saying is right, and Elisa, and I know you know this. You channel information from Erik very often. So some of the stuff you're saying, it's I know it's coming from Erik, whether or not you realize it at the time.
Oh my God, that is so true. Because when I was saying all this stuff, I was at the same time thinking, I'm not this smart. So where is this coming from? This is not me. This is not mine. It's just flowing out. So
well, you know what Erik just said to me? It's not that you're not that smart. It's the focus is different when the information is being channeled. It flows a little bit better. But he says it's not that you're not that smart. You are that smart, but the flow is different when you're channeling the information. And that was obvious just then when you were speaking.
Yeah. No, I felt it just flow out like butter. Like I was in the zone. Yeah. So interesting. Okay, well, that's good. I need that confirmation so that I've been did the mediumship stuff bundle on myself. And I still need to do it, the third eye thing, decalcification, pineal, and all that stuff. So that's really helped a lot. Okay, what else, Erik? Just let us know when you have nothing else intelligent to say, because I sure don't, and we will take callers.
I'm just going to jump in here because for some of you, you may know this, and a lot of you probably don't. This is Jennifer speaking. I have suffered with anxiety my whole life. I can remember being 4 years old and having a panic attack. So this is something I have dealt with, off and on, sometimes more productively than others. Sometimes I've let it get the better of me, and I've twice in my life have become agoraphobic to where I actually needed medication to get out of my home. Yeah. So, if you're somebody dealing with anxiety, debilitating stress, anxiety, don't close off an avenue. This is a big one, and it seems like minor as I say it, but for anybody who struggles with driving with anxiety, years ago I realized if I listened to audiobooks, it severely cut down the anxiety while I was driving because I was forced to focus on what they were saying. A lot of times people try to listen to music and it just creates more anxiety. So I have probably in the last 5 years listened to 300 audiobooks.
Wow.
That's just because I can't listen to music when I drive.
I'm kidding. No. Music rubs me the wrong way since Erik died for some reason.
Yes.
Except for very few.
Yep. Well, you know what it is that in my opinion, this is me, Jennifer, speaking. In my opinion, sometimes when you're listening to music, musicians, the depth of sometimes their pain and their sorrow and what brings them to writing this, you tap into the feeling of it when you're listening to the music. And for people who are empathic, sometimes it's just too much.
Wow. Well, that's Erik just said, that makes so much sense because Erik just said, think about the music carries frequency, and if you add lyrics to that, you're tapping right into that part of your brain. You're right into that.
Yes.
Change. Yes, that's a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah, my heart's wide open, and so this it's like pouring salt on the wounds. Even if the lyrics didn't really make sense to do that, but it just. It did. And, it's really interesting you talk about driving, Jennifer, because I think a lot of us have been so in the hermit mode that we haven't been driving. We haven't been getting out there much. And I even feel like, God, how do you work this car? I don't know. Oh, how do I park this car? Yeah. It's like a little awkward. It's so strange. I've been driving for, 50 years. So, but yes, so that it could be a problem in these times now.
Mhm. Yep.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, any other practical practical tips, Erik? Michelle, you can take this one if you want.
He says treat yourself. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Do something that makes you feel good. Depending on what you're able to do, but like buy a nail polish. He says buy yourself a pretty journal. He says do whatever makes you feel good. Put some flowers in your home, a new plant. Change around your furniture. Do some things that kind of switch things up and treat yourself to something nice, a new sweater.
Yeah, that's cool. That'll change the energy flow a little bit by changing up your. I mean, sometimes we get these blocks of energy in our home, in our energy bodies. So moving, dancing, for example, laughing, watching your favorite, comedian, moving furniture, like you said, just the whole flow of energy sort of shifts. But it's especially been hard for light workers who are almost always, maybe they're always, I don't know, Erik, you can answer that in a minute, empaths. And empaths are always the people that they don't do for themselves. They are always, and light workers, do things for other people. So it's really hard for us empaths to actually treat ourselves. It's not like, maybe we feel like we don't deserve it. I don't know. I think it's, I don't know why, but maybe it's like, okay, I got this much resources I want to give to somebody else because I'm going to be fine. I came into this world with a higher vibration than a lot of people. I'm not saying me, I'm just saying in light workers in general. So I want to devote the resources to another. Can you speak on that? Because I just lost myself right there. I don't even know what I said.
So that's sometimes what Erik is saying is sometimes it stems from, with light workers, it is easier to focus on somebody else because to help somebody else and to put a smile on somebody else's face sometimes is easier than looking within ourselves and dealing with the hurts and the pain that's there.
Yeah.
For anybody who's really sensitive, when you start delving into your own stuff, your energy has to kind of withdraw from everybody else. And so during the times when you're not wanting to do that work is oftentimes when it's like, do for everybody else, do for everybody else, do for everybody else, because there has to be that kind of go help energy. So
that makes sense.
The quarantine has forced people to kind of look at their own stuff,
which is good.
Because for a lot of people,
we're going through this. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but it's a difficult thing. Anybody who's done, what's sometimes referred to as shadow work is tough. It's tough. It sucks.
What's shadow work? I've heard of that. I can't remember what it is.
Shadow work is just your baggage, your stuff that keeps coming up, keeps cycling around. You think you've dealt with, and then it smacks you right in the face, and it's like, oh shit, I guess I didn't deal with that. The darker stuff, the stuff that makes you sad, the stuff that you can't kind of hide from everybody else. That's at least my take on shadow work. Michelle, do you have anything else?
Yeah, that seems pretty accurate to me. And it's the things like they use the word shadow or the reference shadow is the things that we don't want everybody else to see, the things that we don't want to see. And it's duality, right? Because we all have duality. Everything in this world is duality, like masculine, feminine. So we have the light side and the dark side, which neither are bad. It's not judged as good or bad, but it's the sides to us that we judge as bad, that we're not paying attention to or don't want others to see. And so that's why all the relationships and the people around us are so important, because they will mirror us and allow us to be able to see those things if we're willing to see it. And I'll just say that I'm very empathic and very sensitive, and I struggled so hard when I was younger and even into adulthood to the point where I couldn't even be around people because I'd burst into tears. I still do, but I have a much better handle on it now. But when I was diagnosed with cancer, I was stripped down, so I had to face things. I was forced to face it. And just like you said, Jennifer, it comes in waves. Like it's, it just kind of pops up. So a lot of people are going through that right now too, because this opportunity of what's been happening and us all kind of going in on our own, it's kind of been like this forced opportunity, and it's a very good thing, but it's not easy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, a lot of you guys out there, and, I notice it because when I look at the orders that come in to Atlantis Scalar, of course I read the description of their, and there's so many people that have had horrible lives. And, there's many times where I've cried reading them. And even after I got the empath protection. And so I said, Erik, what's the deal, man? It's like, okay, you need a double dose. So I had to do 2 empath protection services on myself in order to keep from being so affected by these really sad stories. But people, you guys who have had a lot of trauma, a lot of struggles, that means you probably came in with a much higher vibration than a lot of people. Otherwise, you would not have survived it. I don't want to say ordinary, but a regular person. I don't know what to say, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Typical.
Yeah, typical. There we go. Typical person would not have survived what you've been through. So but the problem is that you probably say, well, I must suck because all this shit happens to me and I'm terrible, blah, blah. But no, it's actually quite the opposite. It is quite, you chose to have the courage to put all sorts of crap on your plate this incarnation. And you could do it because you came in with sometimes angelic energy. A lot of people have been nudged to Atlantis Scalar, not a lot because it's so rare, because they're earth angels, and they're like 8,543 on the earth right now, humans, not very many. And earth angels usually have had a lot of trauma in their lives, and they generally feel quite lonely, even though they're surrounded by families and friends. That it just doesn't make sense. And they also have this constant underlying feeling like they really don't belong here. So don't beat up on yourself for having had a hard life and perceiving that as a series of mistakes that are your fault. Don't do that to yourself because, again, it's just the opposite. Erik, can you tell me what you think about that so I don't mess people's minds up? Is that true?
Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah, he's saying it's absolutely true. And he says that if you think about the purpose of somebody who's really empathic, who comes in with a higher vibration, because that's exactly true. And that's not about better or comparison or anything else like that. He says it has to do with what are you coming here to do? What does your soul come into this lifetime to do? And sometimes it's to release karmas through your family. You're releasing situations that have been through generations that you're releasing. And some of it comes from past lives and some through the experiences that you have in this lifetime. To understand yourself, you have to go through and we create these situations so that we do go through them to learn from. And when we are able to resolve these things, then we become, and yes, he's talking real fast, but when we can resolve them, we were able to then come into a very new way of living. And it's interesting because he was just saying that, when you go through your shadow work, when you go through your situations and you're able to face them and work through them, it's not that you won't feel anymore, but you're not as affected by them so that you can do your work. So a lot of light workers that have a lot of these traumas, he says, also think about what you're here to do. And so depending on what it is that your purpose or the way you work and do your light work in the world, think about a lot of the experiences that your soul has created for yourself and that you've walked through, and how does that relate or will relate to what you're going to do in the world.
That's right. That's the big kahuna, people. That is it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, don't beat up on yourself. And like Erik said, it's not a matter of, oh, you're better because you came in on higher vibration. Because let me tell you, there's been incarnations where we all have sacrificed ourselves to bring our energy down to a very low vibration, like Hitler.
That's right.
In order to help the collective learn something. So there is no judgment, okay? There's no better or worse, all right? No right or wrong. In fact, Jesus said in our interview, I think, I can't remember, that you have to teach children that they're the difference between right and wrong, so that they will learn that there is no difference. It kind of blew my mind.
Right.
But also, this is a time where we can examine relationships and cull the ones that don't work for us anymore. And also, maybe the spiritual contract's done, but also enrich the ones that do further each other's lives and our spiritual evolution.
That's right.
Okay, Jennifer,
Perfectly said.
Absolutely.
What about you, Jennifer? What you got?
So this is kind of going back a little bit. Erik was saying, like, perspective. Also, like, if you're, for people who really are having a hard time and not happy with their lives or feeling a lot of stress and anxiety, it's always great to, like, do things that make you happy. Like, like, look at happy things, read happy things. But for a good portion of the population, to read stuff about people who have it worse than you is actually not a bad perspective, because then you can be grateful for where you are in life. So, Elisa, one of the things that Erik was saying with me, like, you lost a child. There is no greater loss as far as I am concerned on this planet that we can experience.
No.
But one of the things that you can gain from this, from what you're doing and hearing other people's stories, is, perspective. I'm sure that you've heard stories that you're grateful that you haven't experienced. Okay? Does that make sense? You probably read people's stories and it's like, well, at least I haven't experienced that. And so it can make you grateful for where you're at. And I have one client in particular, and I'm hesitant to share this, and I'm not going to share a lot of details, but Erik keeps telling me to share it. A woman and her husband and 3 children, and he absolutely snapped one day. He and the wife were outside. He punched her out unconscious, and by the time she came to and got inside, he had murdered 2 of their children and shot the other one in the head and killed himself.
Oh, no.
So I know it's awful. It's an awful story. The one child survived. She is thriving, and the woman continues on. And so perspective. So sometimes it's not like all rainbows and butterflies and sunshine. Sometimes you have to go deeper into the depths of despair to find what you're grateful for. And not you, Elisa. I'm not directing this at you. I mean anybody in general.
No,
it's kind of a weird way to think of. Yeah, it's a weird way to think of things, but I've actually had an experience personally like this where I was having a problem with depression, and I heard a horrible story, and I was like, all right, get your shit together. Like, you're fine. Like, you're not dealing with that, so, like, move on. And so Erik was saying perspective. Get some perspective. Don't just live in your own world. Don't just live within your own grief and your own loss and your own struggles. Be, looking at other people's and finding where you're grateful. Does that make sense?
Oh,
that makes a lot of sense. That's great.
Well, I use the Walmart panties example because I remember when I got so low that I was ready to just kill myself. And I just said, okay, Elisa, hang on, just hang on. I was in bed just like for 3 days. And hang on, it's okay, hang on. And then I thought, wait a god dang minute. I am not going to let them find my body with me wearing Walmart panties. And there's nothing wrong with Walmart. But then I just started laughing, and I got up and went on about life. So,
yeah.
So the moral to the story is, go get some Walmart panties. I'm kidding. Not really. All right, so, but I also have been dealing with learning a lot about negative entities, and I'm just shocked by how many people have negative entities around them and attached to them. It's like in what I'm doing, it's like 85% or more. It's crazy, and I'm sure that count has gone up given the current chaos in our world now. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
They're loving this.
Yeah, absolutely. The negative entities, it really is a vicious cycle because the lower your vibration is, the more easily negative entities can attach to you. And if you get negative entities attached to you, the lower your vibration is going to get.
Yeah. They feed on energy, they exacerbate it. It's awful. But thank God with Erik and the rest of the divine team, they're able to kick them to the curb, and it's just miraculous when we do this portal work. Well, I have the smallest role of all, But anyway, I do it, and it's quite extraordinary, the complete transformation of the person, the couple, or the family that gets it done. It's like they don't even know I've done it, and I tell them, as oh my God, now I get why my energy shifted and my kids' energy shifted, and all of a sudden why my kids are not fighting anymore. Just it's transformative, and you don't even have to have the person you do it on doesn't have to even know. We always get, or Erik gets permission from their higher self. So if you have a skeptic in the family, screw it, just do it anyway, and you know, and they get permission, and the higher selves always say yes. Do you want to say anything else before we take callers? Erik, my love?
Nope.
No, all silent and ready to take callers.
Okay. Then let me see. There's a couple of people who have actually promised to take their call because they're in dire need. So I hope you guys understand that. But, you know, that's kind of what I'm here to do. So bear with me. All right. So we have somebody from the 586 area code. Hi there.
Hello.
There he is. Hi, Lambert.
Elisa, you've said so many things already, and I have Erik to take the task on some of these. I was just going to ask two simple questions. One, first of all, I want to say and give all of my love, and everybody on this line should give all of their love to you and Erik and the Divine team and the Chandlers, all of them who are working so hard for your benefit, and you'll never know how hard they work.
Oh, God.
And they need your love and prayers just as much and more. No, I mean that just as much and more than anybody else. They're, you know, from you, Dr. Elisa, to my brother, Erik, to Michelle and Jennifer and all those that try to make this happen, you have to be recognized because the work is so hard, so taxing, mind taxing.
It is hard. I have to fight the negative entities. It's very grueling work. I will have to agree with that.
Just doing that is alone. I can't. It's like pulling spikes out of your skin. I don't know how you do it, but I need to get this out of my chest while we were talking. I love you all so much for what you're doing.
Thank you
so much.
Everybody else should too. Now, let me yell a second one to my brother. Are we brothers right now, Erik?
Without a doubt.
Yes. Yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Now, can I call you a putz?
Oh, and he has it coming. He'll probably do the same with you. So what relationship have you had the most? Lambert and Erik. Father, son, brother, friend, mother, son, mother, daughter.
I get contemporaries, so siblings, best friends. This is the area I feel.
That's exactly what I got too, Jennifer.
We're way beyond best friends, so it's going to be siblings.
Siblings.
And he's going to be.
All
he
the
gets
above.
to choose. He gets to choose.
Oh, well, he was talking about past lives, other incarnations is what he was talking to me about. Michelle, is that what you were getting? Other incarnations?
That's exactly what I got. And he's
okay.
And brother, he's calling you brother. But yes, he was just showing us answering Elisa's question and just saying that many of the lifetimes have been best friends, brothers, very close.
Okay, then I have one question for you. Did you get pissed off at me, pardon my language, and put "what the hell, man" on my post to your mom?
He doesn't get pissed off. Are you kidding me?
He knows what I mean. were you the one that said what the hell, man, when I said the thing that I was, about me wanting to shut my machine off? Was that you? Because it came out of nowhere, followed it right away.
That's for Jennifer. Michelle. It could be a negative entity. Who knows? Okay, so
I got no that it wasn't Erik.
No, it wasn't Erik.
Now I've got two quick questions.
No, you can't have any more. I've got so many people, Lambert. But let me ask a very important one because I have to let other people ask questions too.
Do I have negative entities that are taking my meds?
That's what I wanted to ask. Does he need portal work again? Because he moved.
So they're
right?
taking.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
I mean no offense, and I mean no fear. Are you chronically ill or terminally ill?
Oh, chronically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now is there? No, go ahead. You can ask anything.
So with chronic illness, oftentimes with chronic illnesses or terminal illnesses, because the illness lowers your vibration, I have found that negative entities do come around more. So I will tell you, I do feel that more work needs to be done. Elisa, is that what you were feeling on that?
Yes. I've already written them down on the list of people to work on.
Yeah, Jennifer, I got exactly the same thing about the illness. Exactly. Yes.
Awesome.
They're screwing with my expensive medication.
Yeah, we'll try to get that down.
Okay.
All right, Lambert. I'll work on that next week.
I'm done. I love you all, and I will be getting through to you through Mom soon. I love you all. You
love you too, Lambert. Bye. We talk quite often. All right, let me see. We got somebody else here that let's see what we got. Sorry, takes me a while. 7179.
I was just gonna Erik, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pop in. Erik is saying any kind of chronic pain or chronic illness lowers your vibration no matter how positive your attitude is.
Exactly. Okay, we got somebody here. Is that you, Susan?
Yes.
All right. Hi, Susan. How you doing?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. What you got, babe?
Well, I just try backing up a little bit and explaining. I had done a healing session with Kim Voight, like Erik recommended. This was almost 2 weeks ago. And at the end of the session, we talked about my son-in-law who had just passed away last June, and my dad passed away like 7 years ago. So anyway, she channeled in my son-in-law, and then had discovered that he hadn't crossed over. And what he communicated through her was that the reason for this was he was worried that he was going to be punished, and that he would no longer have a connection with my daughter. If he did pass, that he would lose that connection. So he was staying around her.
That makes sense.
So my dad and Erik came forward and helped him to cross over. And,
he's over there now. He's over there.
Yeah, he is crossed. He's crossed now.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it was very.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
He can see your daughter. This is all the things that he was afraid of those were still earthly fears.
Right.
That none of them are what happened when he got there.
Right. Well, I had a session. Kim and I continued the session 4 days later to give him time to go, start healing and whatever he needed to do after crossing. And what was supposed to be 20 minutes actually turned into 50 minutes. So what I had asked her to ask him was about his death, because we had been given 2 stories, and my daughter and I was having trouble believing one of them. What?
What are the 2 stories, darling?
The one that they stuck with was that it was suicide. The first one that they said was his brother was there visiting him. My daughter was visiting us at the time in another state because they had moved the fall before to another state. Yeah. And so the brother was the only witness to it. He said that they were fighting over the gun and it went off by accident. And then he changed his story and said that it was suicide. And so this is the story that the parents were sticking with. And what I got from, I don't know if you want me to continue or if you want me to wait for y'all.
I very confidently feel this was an accidental death. This was an accidental death.
That's what he communicated to me through Kim.
That's what I got hearing over and over and over. Accidental death, accidental death, accidental death.
Okay.
I got very specific details.
Who pulled the trigger?
From her.
He did.
Okay.
Is there alcohol or drugs involved here as well?
It was, they were drinking. He didn't do drugs.
Yeah.
There were no drugs.
Okay.
And
my head doesn't feel clear. There's a bit of some chaos and like a struggle or a fight, and the gun goes off. His hand was on the trigger though.
Okay. Well,
this is what I'm getting, Michelle. I don't know if that's what you're getting.
Jennifer, you are right on too. You're awesome. Yes. I could pick up on the suicide, and I got to tell you, the word suicide wouldn't stick. It wouldn't stick.
No.
But so it made sense that you said that was one of the things that you were told, because I knew there was something in there with that. But yes, this was accidental. There's substance in there, and there was guilt. And the guilt connected to his brother, or whatever the scenario was what he was rolling through. He felt sickened by the way things had transpired. Yeah.
So
and another thing. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say before we let you go, I'm getting 2 other things. I'm getting that the alcohol, the amount of alcohol that was involved here, is enough that whoever was there doesn't really remember what happened. And number 2, he's saying it doesn't matter what the death was classified as, because sometimes it's just easier to say suicide than to say accident, because if there's an accident, there's more of like an investigation that needs to be done.
Right.
So he says, don't get caught up on what it was ruled. He said this doesn't really mean shit. Sorry.
Okay.
Right.
All right, well,
can I ask another question?
Make it quick. We've got so many people in line.
Okay, I'm sorry. What was communicated to me, too, is that he felt like his parents weren't telling the truth, and he wasn't happy with them over that.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still true, or has he kind of healed from?
This feels insignificant to me, Michelle. Are you getting any more on that? I feel like he's made peace with that.
He may have. Did he express that maybe before he was crossed? Because that seems to be cleared right off of him, like he's not concerned about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
maybe,
good.
I can't remember, but.
All right, thank you for calling. I hope
All
that gives you closure. It should, I hope.
Yes.
I'm so glad he's crossed and doing well, and that, Erik.
Me too. That's the main thing.
Thank you so much, Erik. I really appreciate you. I'm so glad he helps with that a lot. I really am. All right, let's take the next one. 717 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi. How you?
Hi. Oh, I'm on speaker. Oh, hi. My name is.
Who's this?
This is.
Okay. Yes. How can we breaking up a little bit? Are you okay? You're breaking up.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
No.
All right, call back in from a stable line, and I'll get back to you, okay? Call back in on a stable line, and we'll take the next one. Okay, we got somebody from the 920 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi, it's Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, what's up?
Well, Elisa, you and I have talked, and
a lot.
A lot. Well, more texting than talking because you're such a busy gal. But I want to thank you so very much for your help because my son was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, and for 8 years we've struggled with many things, and it's been really tough, really, really tough. I don't feel like he's quite there yet.
So what's going on, Erik? Why isn't he over the hump? He's better, but not till. What does he need? Is there a spiritual contract that needs to be revoked? Does he need empath? Does he need you to just help him? What does he need? Michelle,
are you getting anything on that?
Sorry.
I'm picking up on. So part of it is what he has to work through himself, and because I do get that it's improving, so that it is going to improve, but there might be a little bit of time here. Some empath protection would help him. A little bit of that would give him a bit of a boost, but Erik is like saying in the next 90 days is going to make a difference for him.
Well, that's good news. Can you ask him? I'm a little confused. He and I are so very, very close. At least we were before he became so ill. I'm not sure if I'm an empath and he is as well. I'm not really sure what our connection is. Does he have any insight on that?
Well,
you have a soulmate connection.
It's soul connected. Yeah.
Yep. It's a soulmate connection. What's interesting is Erik is telling me is that you're empathic, but it is more directly from him. So it might not. Yeah, it's like you might be empathic when you just walk around and pick up on other people's stuff, but it's more intense when it's connected to him.
Oh,
correct.
So
and that has to do with the soul connection.
That makes sense. So you're more vulnerable to Mitchell's energy than you are to others.
And what Erik just said is the last lifetime that you guys had together, you were identical twins.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That does not surprise me one bit. I appreciate that information, and I'm glad to know that there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Does he have any spiritual contracts that need to be revoked, or are we cool on that?
Erik's saying that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, right?
No, because what is there is what's to be worked on between the two of you, like organically to work out. Yeah.
Okay.
Does he need
that
any
makes sense.
healers, light language, any energy healers, anything like spiritual DNA, anything else from like one of the healers?
So the other thing that I'm hearing, I don't know much about this disorder, but is there a hypersensitivity to like light and sound?
Yes, at least for me there is. Okay. I'm very sensitive to sound. I don't like loud sound or too much of TV, radio, everything on at once. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, there's something in this arena, overstimulation, oversensitivity to light and sound. I do feel there is something in this arena that needs to be looked at a little bit more.
How?
And how vulnerable would you say that we are to negativity? Because it feels like I have to constantly be on guard.
Well, you have some PTSD in regard to that. So that feeling of needing to be on guard, that's a PTSD response, is what Erik is saying.
Okay.
Well, maybe
so I don't really need to worry about that?
Maybe y'all both need to empath protection. I think you need to be okay to let your guard down and see what flows.
Yeah. Okay. Michelle, some empath protection for you would be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But, the two of you work off of each other quite a bit, so that'll benefit.
Why don't you just try one at a time? Just don't order everything.
Sure.
I mean, I really stress this to people. Just don't spend all your money on me.
I don't mind spending money on you, Elisa.
No,
You're so worth it.
try one thing and it may be enough. If then you can try the other if. Okay, so
I do feel that that this whole process with him was so incredibly traumatic on me that I probably am the one that needs it, and that because it almost did feel. I mean, I hate to say it, but it almost felt like he died.
Oh, yeah.
Like I lost him.
Yeah, you lost the boy you knew. His identity was different. So does she need it first, or does he need it first, Erik?
I will tell you, I'm feeling that she needs it.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't help others with that unless you can help yourself. So I'm hearing her first.
I agree.
Then him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Michelle, thank you so much for calling in. Oh, I'm very close to this case. I really have a very emotionally vested interest in so we've been really talking a lot for the last several months. Okay, let's see if we can get 717 back on. Hopefully she has a good line.
Yes.
Hi there.
Hello.
You're back on. Yay. I hope it works this
Yay.
time.
This is Chrissy Knoll.
Yes.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
Sweetie. Yes. And you want to talk about one of your kids, right?
What?
No, tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I know what it is, but go ahead.
Lily is here,
yes.
and Lee, and I just am so grateful for so many things. I can't put into words, and Lily has been wanting to talk to Erik, and she tells me that she talks to Erik all the time.
Wow.
And she's been calling him. I will say, I don't want to say what I've been observing as from her, from a metaphysical practitioner, whatever standpoint, label, blah, blah. But there's so much that I can't put into words that.
Well, let's hear from Erik. Erik, what's your take on Lily? What do you want to say to Lily? Tell me about your relationship. Tell me about your relationship with Lily. Everything.
Lily, come here. Come here, pumpkin.
How old is Lily?
Lily was born October 3rd, 2018. Lily, come here, boo-boo.
She's 4 years old? 3 years old?
She's two. She turned two in October 3rd.
Oh, wow.
I am in a different location in the house.
Okay.
She's
Michelle,
using,
this
I
is
don't
Libra,
want to say
Libra energy, right? This feels like you, Michelle.
Yeah, she's
well, my birthday is October 4th, so I was just going to say this feels like somebody very similar to me. I can feel that.
Yep.
And Erik just said, and I'm going to ask you, Chrissy, does Lily talk about seeing a cat?
Yeah,
or does she meow?
Yeah, meow.
Because Erik will show up as a cat.
Oh,
he's not always showing up
Daddy,
as.
Could you please? I'm sorry.
That's
Daddy,
okay.
Could you please bring up? Come here. She wants to play Play. So, okay. So I'm sorry. Okay. So Erik shows up with the meow cat. Is that what? Okay. So is Erik one of Lily's spirit guides?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Do it.
Flame of someone.
Does Lily have a grandmother in spirit or an aunt, a female in spirit, on your side?
I believe that's my mama.
Okay.
Doris Harris. Doris Sarson Harris.
Okay, because Erik has come in with that soul, and there's a connection between you, the female energy, and Lily there is some past life energy or some other life energy that I feel in there, but there is something to do with your own awakening and Lily that is going hand in hand. And
it's
Erik
concurrent.
yes, because Erik is helping Lily to help you.
Thank you.
Oh.
And the thing is, too, so this shouldn't be put on her yet. This is the children that are coming in. It's also parts of her being denied saying aren't real, and then it's mental illness on my part. I know I have anxiety. I know I have addiction, and so
it's fighting against people who still think the world is flat, that kind of thing. Okay, so we're going through that right now, where the same thing is what happened when everybody thought the world was flat, and then somebody said, "Nuh-uh, it ain't." So that's what you're going through.
I went through a lot of that stuff too.
We're all on the bleeding edge of that, and it's very hard to convince people otherwise.
It's hard when it's from within.
I'm just going to jump in. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt because I know, Elisa, we're past 8 o'clock at this point. But listen, this is Jennifer, and I very clearly heard from Erik. She is not mentally ill, and she is here to teach you and guide you.
Yes.
Pay attention to that child.
I'm told I am mentally ill and I'm obsessed with her gifts, but it's me protecting her.
You're not mentally ill.
No,
I know.
And Erik clearly said, don't worry, because this is what she came in here to do. This is who she naturally is.
And that's what I have said, and but how do I?
She's strong enough.
I'm getting attacked from within, and I'm being told I'm this, I'm that, and it's
Okay. Well, maybe you need empath protection, so this all rolls off of you like water off of a duck's back, girl. But maybe you need to talk to one of the mediums, Michelle or Jennifer, and spend some time talking, because it's your child and it's you and it's your life. And it's both of your family's future. So I think it might be really important for you to do that.
You are reaffirming. I appreciate what I know, and I am I an earth angel? I don't know what. I don't even know what. I don't know. I just was wondering what messages Erik had.
I think there's so many questions.
What is this?
Christy, there's so many questions. There's so many questions that you need to ask. Did you guys have lives with Erik? And past or future life? What's the connection between you guys? What is his role in your spiritual evolution and Lily's? What is Lee's component? You have too many questions on this radio show.
Yeah, I know. Well, you see, this is
and we're going to run into the other show too. So
Could I just ask one question? What is one big message that Erik has for me right now beyond Lily? Like for me.
Okay. Good.
Balance, ground your energy, and trust yourself.
Yeah, you need to trust yourself. I totally agree with that. Mm-hmm. All right, Christy, thanks for calling. And of course,
I love you guys.
Anytime.
So
we love you too.
Thank
you guys, thank you. Sure. If you guys didn't get on the call, it's okay. You guys, don't worry. We're going to do this every week. We love you. And you guys, check out Michelle Gray at thehealingh.art.com and Jennifer Doran at psychicmediumjenniferdoran.com, which I will put in the description box. Love you guys and love you, Erik.
Love you, Mama. Bye, Jennifer. Bye, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Great show.